Good afternoon, Professor Yeung.
Hello.
So welcome for the interview today in Lipscomb, the university, and it's a very nice environment here for the Teaching and Learning Center. We are going to discuss about a few items. So the first one will be from your perspective, sociology, or maybe also from environmental. What do you think about sustainable development mindset?
I think that the sustainable development mindset is a very important shift away from a hierarchical view where people are ranked in terms of their value to a value or to a system where everyone is valuable. And it's a system where we consider multiple forms of value: human capital, social capital, environmental, natural capital, built capital. And instead of a narrow view of evaluating value, we consider multiple forms of value when we're making decisions. And we make decisions not in the short term, but we make decisions in terms of how they're going to impact generations.
Yeah, good. So I've read about one of the chapter in this book, and it's talking about agricultural policy, and you mentioned about a food system and also agricultural, and also link up human together with the society, right? So what do you think about entrepreneurship spirit in this perspective?
With
innovations, creativity.
Sure, the entrepreneurial spirit is the spirit of that humans are strong resources, and that people have ideas that can add value to other humans and to the economy and to our society. And so the entrepreneurial spirit is that I can rely on my ideas and my work to benefit myself and to benefit others, and that we don't have to do things the way they've always been done, and that we can innovate, and that with innovation might come some failures, but those are opportunities for learning. And so when we learn and we make different decisions or better decisions, we can see things in new ways.
Yes. So entrepreneurship spirit will be talking about innovations, and then talking about making use of the idea, and then we can maybe solve the social problem. You mentioned about the unused values.
Right.
And then from the United Nations, here we have one of the Sustainable Development Goals talking about industry and innovations. So how do you think that link up entrepreneur spirit with innovations and then develop sustainable development leader? How the two things link them up? Through education, or through exposure, or through some kind of seamless learning activities? Yeah.
Well, I think it just takes getting a lot of exposure. I think students need to see not only the current system and see its challenges, and see for example, in food systems, we need to be able to take a good look at confined animal feeding operations and the environmental costs of those, and the human health costs, and the ways that animal well-being is linked to human and earth well-being. So we need to see those ways that the current system is not working well for all of us for over the long term. But then we also need to see what's possible, and we need to have a vision of what's possible, both that's currently in practice, as well as what hasn't even been imagined yet. So it takes looking at both the challenges and getting a firm grasp on how we've gotten to what were the factors and the context that led us to where we are, as well as looking to the future.
Yeah. So in the United Nations, we have a principle for responsible management education, and they have 6 principles, and 2 of the principles talk about dialogue and also partnership. So you mentioned about using entrepreneurship spirit can drive for innovation, decision making, and then take a look about the cost, and then how are we going to renovate something. And right now the current system is not that good enough, right? So as a responsible management educator, so what kind of thing that you think we can do more, and so that we can develop sustainable leader?
I think we can just continue advocating for our students, and continue building our students, not just for what's available now, but what will become available in the future. And the future is bright. It is.
So for Lipscomb, they have the Christianity background. So do you think spirituality is quite needed in today's society about because they have a lot of technology explosion everywhere?
Right. I think that obviously all of our technologies are simply tools, and how they are used is really something that we can evaluate from an ethical standpoint. We can talk about uses of technology that are beneficial or that are harmful. And so one of the principles of sustainability is human well-being, and we are all better off when people are treated justly and with fairness and with a consideration for the impacts of our actions on the lives of others. Some others that we will, that we see, some others that we cannot see because they live on the other side of the world, and others that we cannot see because they haven't been born yet, because they'll be born in hundreds of years. Right. So I think that a sense of spirituality, a sense of our relationship with something bigger than ourselves, and our relationship with other people over time.
Wellness, oneness, we mentioned about,
Yes, that concern for equity, of fairness, and of concern for all people, and also all other life forms. Understanding that our my well-being is tied up in the well-being of ecosystems, and of animals and plants and flourishing ecosystems. And I'm a Christian, and I see from my understanding of my relationship with God that when my relationship that God wants all things to come together and be restored in harmony. And so humans have broken some harmonious relationships, and then we see the effects of that through disease and death and conflict and wars and dead ecosystems.
They're not compromised. Right.
Things are broken. But our as a Christian, I believe that as part of my partnership with God and His restoration of the world is acting out and modeling a right relationship with myself, a right relationship with other humans, and a right relationship with the other things that God has created.
Okay. So we just actually talk about UN Sustainable Development Goal about 3, which is about well-being, quality of life.
Right.
And then we talk about number 4, quality of education, will be to expose about our student exposure.
Right.
And then we talk about 17 will be a partnership. So now, how do you think that the 3 item, quality of life, number 4, quality of education, number 17, partnership, put into the producer when they produce some product or service? How to put the 3 item and let the business sector to know that when you're producing something, you have to be responsible.
Yeah, I think it's a consideration to, one of our, Annie Leonard is one of my favorite authors, and she speaks to the cycle of consumption, where people are told that they are not good enough, they're not smart enough, they're not they're not beautiful enough, and so as a response to this not being enough, we spend, and the solution and we see it in advertising, we see it in markets. The solution is to buy better stuff and to buy more stuff, and but we found that is not that is empty. That is not that is not sustainable over the long term, and that it doesn't make us happier to have more stuff.
Because too materialistic, right? Yeah,
that's right. And so what we do want are some of those well-being aspects. We want more time with family. We want more. We want more and better connections to each other. We want more
connectivity,
connections to nature,
community concept,
exactly. And so industry and partnerships can respond to that by developing businesses that help people. Help people's well-being rise, and there's incredible potential with that. The billions of consumers that their well-being really does rise when they have access to consistent healthy food,
healthiness,
right, and they have
well-being,
basic health care, Right. So those kinds of things, there's incredible potential, and we've seen this in the growth of the cell phone industry and the markets that have developed there. That people are better off when they're connected. They have more access to education,
happiness,
right, and connection. So and business opportunities. People have the resources within themselves and within their communities to set their own goals for themselves. So really, businesses and industry can and should respond to what communities are really saying that they want more of.
Can we maybe make a conclusion, say that the sustainable goal number 12, responsible production and consumption, will be equal to number 3, quality of life, and then plus quality education, because you need to educate about the producer, how to produce good, and consumption with the concept for community,
right,
and also with 17 partnership. So if we have the 3 factors added all together, and then the producer or consumption, they will be more responsible.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Especially when those educated leaders are leading the way in those,
exactly, because
those
the
organizations.
business leader, they're leading the world. So if we want our future to be responsible, sustainable, then they need to know how to put the goals and then bundle together to have a concept or maybe a business model to run the business.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Professor Jones. Okay,
absolutely.
Thank you
for your time.
That's good, right?
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, you
absolutely.
See, because there's so many things, we cannot pick everything together.